Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Where do you go when you have bad credit or even really bad credit to get a business credit card? Or should you even worry about starting out with a business credit card since you have bad credit? Well, a couple things that I would definitely tell you to do is one is make sure that you have the right NAICS code, okay? The right type of business, all right? This is going to make it so much easier even if you have bad credit down the line, okay? Number two is making sure that you choose the right business bank account. Even when you have bad credit, you should make sure you choose the right business bank account because the business may be making revenue and stuff like that. However, without choosing the right business bank account, that revenue is not going to be reported to the business credit bureaus. All right. And so that plays a big factor because a lot of people will go to like a Navy Federal because they give you business credit cards with no revenue in the business, which is great. However, when you want to make sure that you have a strong business credit profile, you want to make sure that those transactions that are being deposited into your bank account are actually being reported to the business credit bureaus. All right. So that's the reason why I'm bringing this here up. Now, another thing is, should you start out with net 30 accounts? What type of net 30 accounts should you start out with when trying to establish your business credit file to get business credit cards? Well, let's talk about some of these business credit cards. All right. Because this may help a lot of you guys. First one, look at First National Bank. They offer a secured business credit card. Now, First National Bank business credit card goes from $1,000 up to $100,000, but it's a secured card. However, it does report to Dun and Bradstreet and Small Business Financial Exchange. All right, so that's the real important thing about it, making sure they are reporting to some type of business credit bureaus. Then the next one is Community Bank. Community Bank, they offer a business credit card through First National Bank of Omaha, and it's a secured card. It goes from $2,000 up to $10,000. Now, here's the thing about it with First National Bank. First National Bank using an Experian FICO non-scoring for their business credit cards. So that means that it's a low-hanging fruit. So if you was to add utilities, authorized users on the credit file and apply for a business credit card, once those trade lines report to your business credit file, then your credit score will increase. Okay, and by your credit score increasing, you may have a higher chance of getting a unsecured business credit card with First National Bank. All right, so those are the first two. The next one is Valley Bank. Okay, so with Valley Bank, they have a secured card. It goes from $1,000 up to $25,000. Okay, and it does say that it reports to the business credit bureaus. Usually when they say they report to the business credit bureaus, more likely they're probably going to be reporting to either Dun and Bradstreet or to Small Business Financial Exchange if it's not specifically spelled out, okay? And because these are secured cards, that means they want you to have skin in the game. All right, and I know for some people that may be a stretch, but I'll tell you where to get some loans that don't do a hard pull on the credit. So that way, if you're trying to get skin in the game and start building up your business credit, there's places that you can actually go. As a matter of fact, I'll just tell you now. You can go to Low Credit Finance. Okay, they offer loans up to $50,000. Okay, and the thing about it, it's a platform. And the great part about it is the interest rates is like 5.99 up to 35.99, right? And so if you get approved for one of those loans, then you can take that money and you can use it to deposit on some of these here secured credit cards that report to the business credit bureaus, right? And the reason you want to do that, again, is to start building up that business credit file. So these are going to be financial instruments that's going to be reporting to the business credit file. So that's the reason why when people say, well, do I need net 30s or whatever. Well, the thing about it, you want financial instrument net 30s, which I'm going to tell you more about. Another secured credit card that you can look at is Hello Alice, okay? And so with the Hello Alice, $500 minimum to add on to it, but it also reports to Dun & Bradstreet, okay? Now, another easier credit card, or I would say charge card, that you probably want to go after is with the NAV Prime, okay? And the reason is because it gives you not only 2 trade lines, but at the same time, it gives you a financial instrument reporting on your business credit file, all right? So that charge card that they give you, if you utilize it, it's going to report on the business credit file, all right? Now, you don't have to put any money up front for that as well. So that's the very best thing about it with the NAV card, all right? Now, you also have A to B Gas, all right? And so A to B Gas reports to Dun & Bradstreet. Now, I know for some of you all hear me say that Dun & Bradstreet is really not a relevant factor, okay? The thing about it is when you have very bad credit, and you're going to be relying on trying to move forward with just building up the credit file with just your EIN to get funding and stuff like that, having the right type of financial instruments really make a difference, okay? That being said, you have a company called Fair Figure. Now with Fair Figure, they're similar to they're similar to NAV. Okay, and so what I mean by that they offer the business credit reporting and the personal credit reporting. All right, and so the thing about it is with them, if you are generating revenue in the business, they will actually give you a loan. Now, the minimum revenue that you actually have to have in the business is at least $2,500, and you have to be in business for at least 90 days. All right. However, when they offer you that loan, again, not looking at the personal credit, that money, you can actually use it to reinvest back into the business, okay, into the right financial instruments. All right. Now, I want to back up right quick because I was telling you about the right business bank account. The reason that's important is because, like, you have like American Express, or some people may use like Bluevine, or like I said, Navy Federal. However, like with American Express, they report to Small Business Financial Exchange. However, like a company like Bluevine, they won't have a benefit unless you actually have other accounts with them. So that's the reason why I would tell you to, that's the reason why I would actually tell you to. Sorry, guys, I'm a little distracted because my daughter is chasing my rabbit around the car. I guess she let her out of the house, and now she's hiding under the car. That being said, going back to the right business bank account, is that if you choose like Chase, Capital One, or Citibank, those are going to be some of your primary banks that report to multiple business credit bureaus, which really is where you want to go, okay? And I will tell you another thing in reference to the deposits to be made, okay? So making weekly deposits, if you're able to make $25 weekly or up higher, it helps with your business bank rating. It also strengthens your relationship with financial institutions. So that way, with some banks, you may be hovering around may get up to maybe a 640 or 660, and they, because of the relationship, they may be willing to go ahead and give you a unsecured business credit card, okay? That being said, another card that you may want to look at, that's a very easy to get, is the Capital One Spark Classic. It's an unsecured card, but you only need a 580. Now, again, of course, that card reports to Experian Business, Equifax Business, Small Business Financial Exchange. Dun & Bradstreet does pick that information up. But the good part about it, excuse me, guys, it's kind of hot. I guess it makes sense to just roll down the windows, huh? But the thing about it is that that card is going to report both on the business side as well as the personal side. However, I still think it's worth getting that card, okay? Because usually that type of card, I've seen people with very bad credit, like I said, 580, and they gave them $3,000, $5,000, right? So being able to have the right business credit cards so that they are actually reporting to your business credit file to help build up the business credit file is very important, because again, as the credit gets better, because you have a stronger business credit file than most, you would have a higher chance of getting higher limits, okay? So that's the reason why I would definitely tell you to look at those cards. Now, another card I would tell you to look at is the Divvy, okay? So with the Divvy, again, it's one of those cards that are revenue based. A lot of people with bad credit get that card, especially, like I said, if you have revenue coming in the business. Now, again, just keep in mind, it is a charge card, and the way that it operates, if you're knowing that you're going to be making weekly deposits, then being able to pay the card off weekly, then what ends up happening is that they will give you a larger amount. If you pay the card off bi-weekly, then they will give you start to give you a lower amount. And then if you decide you're going to pay it off monthly, then they, of course, give you a lower amount for it. All right. So I just wanted to bring these cards to your attention. So for those of you that may feel that you don't have no hope in terms of building up your business credit, now you at least have a map. If you have any other questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.